Oh, hey guys. How we doing? Good to see everybody. So, here I am with Karma. We're sitting down by the little lake on the walkathon. And I just did an interview with Truth Frequency Radio. Uh, and right before the interview, I saw an article on one of Epstein's main associates, aka procurers, and I would also say molesters, as in this document, it's one of the original police reports, okay? And in the report, she alleges that, I believe it's Nadine Marcinkova, who may or may not be one of the three employees listed, by the way. Um, you know what I mean? It's so just so everybody knows, get up to date. The indictment currently from the New York allegations 2002 to 2005, right? Well, when you look at that, it's a whole new ball game now. So you have three employees in there that aren't named but are working with the government. Now, if you look at the old documents, you had people like Sarah Kellen, Leslie Groff, Marcin Kova. There was another Marta Shalova. I believe there was there was another woman there too. But in these documents, it says Marcin Kova was alleged to have been bought as a child from her family in Yugoslavia. That's what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with a man that bought a child sex slave and turned her into one of his main procurers of other young girls and had her participate in these actions as well. Now, I can't imagine what that's like. I can't imagine being abandoned by my family to basically serve somebody, and not just serve them, but serve them sexually as well. That's a nightmare scenario. It's unthinkable, right? We can't imagine it, but it happens. And it happens more times than we're comfortable with. And now that it's being exposed that it is happening on an elite level, that Epstein is not really as isolated a case as people want to believe. Let's talk about Dennis Hassert for a minute, okay? Dennis Hassert, who's been labeled a serial child molester by a judge, yet never done any time for any such crime, was molesting young boys all the way back when he was a gym teacher, before he was even in politics, when he was a wrestling coach. Okay? Think about that. And he gets all the way up to the Speaker of the House. I mean, talk about an elite position. You're 3 heartbeats away from the presidency. And one of his accusers, by the way, is, I believe, the brother of still one of his longtime aides. See, some people take to the abuse. They roll with the punches. For instance, at some point, Marcin Kova becomes an adult and still works with Epstein. Well, again, what else do they know? They've literally been programmed, if you will, that this is some type of normal behavior, and obviously it's not. So the Daily Mail's running that story. There's a bunch of new documentation that's getting unsealed. I'm not sure if this is a new unseal, but I haven't seen this information before. And it certainly deserves a headline. If Epstein bought an underage girl from a family in Yugoslavia and then made her into one of his main molesters / pimps. It's the world we live in. That's who's hobnobbing with the Clintons and the royal family and others. This is the guy. And by the way, if you haven't seen my 2 other videos on the subject today, we were going through that little black book. Hey, quit eating the grass. You know the deal. Dog's eating the grass. We can't have it. And we were also going to a lot of his political contributions. Karma, cut it out. We're going to have to start walking, huh? So yeah, let's start walking when we talk about these political contributions, because we're far from it. And one of the things is, I'm hoping that you guys understand it, but a lot of people think that, I'm trying to play favorites, or I didn't do enough reporting on Trump and Epstein. I haven't done enough reporting on Clintons and Epstein. It's not about right and left. It's about right and wrong. And I'm not playing team politics with this. I think I illustrated pretty clearly when you saw there were donations to people like George H.W. Bush back in the day by Epstein. When we talk about Epstein being a globalist on the Trilateral Commission from at least 1995 to 2008. Vicky Ward seems to think it might be 2011. That's a huge, huge issue, and yet that's not really spoken about. That's really not focused on. So I know today that globalresearch.ca, who normally does some great work, has published some amazing things, is alleging Mother Teresa in some kind of child trafficking thing. Before I do a video on that, obviously I'm going to have to thoroughly read the article and the source material. But think about that. Let's say something like that is true. And, you know, this was a child trafficking operation on behalf of the Vatican. We already know that the Catholic Church has covered up countless encounters of abuse just recently. That's fact. That's fact-checked. And that gets underplayed even today, even when there's more and more information coming out about rings in Pennsylvania and other states. So when you elevate a person, like, you're taught that you cannot be a greater soul than Mother Teresa. Let's say she is a human trafficker. Is there anything more repulsive? Is there anything more that could gut punch you and say, wow, we have been sold so many lies, and we continue to be sold so many lies. And these people that dominate our society are evil, have betrayed us, are working against humanity, are selling us transhumanism, are selling us a track trace database society. And that's why people have to realize, you know, Epstein's investments into tech, it's not a coincidence. That guy is putting himself everywhere. Susan Donahue, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for your great work. May God bless you. Multiple flats from Rome, Vat City to Pedo Island, allegedly. All I'm saying is, you know, the Pope and his cronies, those cardinals in those big funny hats, it's not like they're eating pork and beans dinner out of a can, guys. It's not like they don't have property. It's not like they're not hypocrites. And then it goes beyond that. It goes beyond the normal level of corruption that you and I could understand. Fancy car, nice house, maybe a little mistress on the side, right? Or for the ladies, you know, I mean, and I don't want to make this about a sex thing. Listen, ladies are brutal too. You think Queen Elizabeth is a good person? No, she's not. She's absolutely not. So those things, you know, bide for both sides of the sexes, but they have one thing in common. They're part of the elite predator class. Remember, Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's right hand, you know, we talked about Marcinkova, who allegedly, according to these documents, if you're new to this stream, Marcinkova has been alleged to have been bought from a family in Yugoslavia when she was a child. But Maxwell, that's an evil bitch. She has all the earmarks of intelligence, of running front organizations to buy off politicians. All that stuff is real. She just shut one down. What was it? Oceanside or Ocean Front? Some nonsense about water. You think that woman gives a hell about water? And we all know about her daddy, Pappy Spy. You know, if you don't know about Robert Maxwell, the Israeli super spy, the magnate of media, the publisher, the guy who supposedly stole the Promise software, this stuff runs deep, man. Like I've been trying to tell people, if this guy was intelligence, like they're saying, if he was running with dudes like Adnan Khashoggi, who were making Iran-Contra happen by making those arms deals, and Epstein's a good buddy of Prince Andrew, and nobody wants to talk about Prince Andrew being the main arms dealer for that royal family that just doesn't have any power, right? But I'll mention it because I think it's important. So here's the deal, guys. If you like this video, if you like this walk and talk, please check out my other stuff. I think it's much more thorough, obviously. We did a couple deep dives into the book today, and we're going to continue to do those. I'm going to be posting my interview in pieces tomorrow from Truth Frequency Radio. Make sure you thumb this up. If you're new, please subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications. I've got a GoFundMe. That's how I'm doing this. 3, 4, 5, 6, sometimes 7 times a day, not a week. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times a day. We're talking in-depth interviews as well. Go check out my Finders Cult one. Did Derek Rose find with the Finders hide? It's an excellent example about how this network has been around a very long time, many decades. If you don't know about the Finders, it's a must watch. So go check that out, and I got to GoFundMe. That's how I'm supporting it. Go check it out. If you can give $5, $10, $15, I'd really appreciate it. With that being said, Carmen and I, we will see you guys on the flip side.